Stop wasting your limited backyard space on space hog crops like corn or sprawling pumpkins. In a small garden, these are productivity killers. You can actually harvest over 100 pounds of premium organic produce from a tiny 10 by 10 patch, but only if you stop following generic gardening advice that ignores your specific climate and square footage. If you're gardening in zones 6 through 9, I know exactly what you're dealing with. You are caught in the zone trap. You've got unpredictable late spring frosts that kill your seedlings one week, and brutal midsummer humidity that turns your garden into a breeding ground for powdery mildew the next. You've got a small plot, and you're tired of putting in farm-sized effort for a snack-sized harvest. Today, we are changing that. We are maximizing every single inch of your soil. By the end of this video, you'll have the exact list of 10 high-yield crops that love the erratic heat to cold swings of zones 6 through 9. We're going to cover the vertical cheat code to double your space without moving a fence post, and I'll reveal the succession secret to keep your garden producing from the last frost of spring to the first snow of winter. No, welcome back to the channel. Just the value you need to feed your family. Let's get to work. Let's start with the undisputed heavyweight champion of the backyard, Indeterminate tomatoes. Now, notice I said indeterminate. In zones 6 through 9, these are your highest RI crop because they keep producing until the first frost kills them. But wait, here is where most people fail. They let their plants turn into a wild, unmanageable bush. In our humid southern and temperate summers, a bushy tomato is just an invitation for blight and pests. If the air can't move through the leaves, the fungus will move in. Prune them to a single stem and grow them straight up a string or a tall stake. If you are in zone 6, wait until after Mother's Day to get these in the ground. If you're in zone 9, you should have them in full sun by March. Ensure your soil drainage is sharp to avoid root rot during those heavy spring rains. The rule is simple: if it grows sideways, it's stealing your dinner. Keep it vertical. Next up, we are talking about cucumbers and pole beans. These are what I call space thieves. If you let them grow on the ground, most gardening books show them sprawling over acres, but in a small backyard, that's a waste of space. In the humidity of zones 7, 8, and 9, ground-crawling vines are a death sentence. They invite slugs and trap moisture against the fruit. By using a cattle panel or a cheap A-frame trellis, you save 80% of your ground space and get cleaner, straighter fruit that is much easier to harvest. For the how-to, install your trellis before you plant. In zone 6, wait for the soil to hit 65 degrees. In zone 9, these are your mid-spring stars. As the vines grow, spend 2 minutes a week weaving them into the mesh. Pro tip: if you see a yellow leaf at the bottom of your cucumber plant, snip it off immediately. That is usually the starting point for disease. In a small garden, one sick plant can take out your entire harvest in 48 hours. Your garden should look like a skyscraper, not a parking lot. Now, let's talk about attacking the money pit: fear. A lot of people worry they'll spend $100 on soil just to grow $10 worth of food. We solve that with crop 4 and 50 radishes and zucchini. We use a method called succession planting. Most people plant their zucchini and then wait 60 days for a result. That's empty soil. Instead, sow your radishes in the exact same spot where you plan to put your zucchini later. Radishes are the sprint runners of the garden. They are out of the dirt and on your salad plate in 25 days. Just as the zucchini is starting to wake up and need the space. In zones 6 through 9, start your radishes in April. By the time the heavy heat of June hits, they are gone and your zucchini takes over. Don't wait for your radishes to get huge. If they stay in the ground during a zone 8 or 9 heat spike, they turn woody and spicy enough to burn your tongue. Pull them early. The rule: never leave a square inch of soil empty for more than 24 hours. Let's move to the Immortal Greens, Swiss chard and perpetual spinach. In our zones, most gardeners give up on salads in July because their lettuce bolts. It shoots up, turns bitter, and dies the second the temp hits 85 degrees. Swiss chard is different. It tastes like spinach but has the toughness of a weed. It survives the blistering Zone 9 humidity and can even handle a light freeze in Zone 6. For the how-to, don't waste your prime full sunspots on these. Plant them in the shadow cast by your tall tomatoes. The partial shade keeps the soil cool and the leaves tender. Stop pulling the whole plant out of the ground. Use the cut and come again method. Only snap off the outer leaves. As long as you leave the center bud intact, the plant will grow a fresh harvest for you every single week. The rule: harvest the leaves, keep the heart. We are finishing our list with root crops: beets, carrots, and spring onions. Most seed packets tell you to thin your seedlings to 3 inches apart. In a small garden, that is bad advice. We are going to use multi-sowing. This means planting 3 to 4 seeds in a single hole. As the roots grow, they naturally push each other apart in the soil. You end up with a beautiful cluster of vegetables in the space where most people only grow one. In Zone 6, sow these in late March. In Zones 8 and 9, these are your winter stars, because they actually taste sweeter after a frost. If your soil drainage is poor, add some compost to keep the earth loose, otherwise, your carrots will fork and grow into strange shapes. But wait, here is the harvest trick. Don't pull the whole cluster at once. Wiggle out the largest one, and the smaller ones will use that new space to double in size in just a few days. The rule: don't thin them to one plant. Let the cluster grow and feed you longer. You now have the 10 best crops for your zone, but none of it matters if your watering schedule is killing your plants. In the humidity of Zones 6 through 9, the air is thick. If you water your leaves in the evening, that moisture sits overnight and invites blight to feast on your garden. Always water before 9 a.m. Aim the hose at the soil, not the foliage. It is much better to soak the ground deeply twice a week than to give it a light sprinkle every day. Deep soaking encourages the roots to dive down where the soil is cool, protecting them from the 90-degree surface heat. Before we go, remember this: a small garden isn't a limitation. It's an opportunity to be more efficient than the guy with an acre of weeds. Which of these 10 crops are putting in the ground first? Drop a comment below with your zone and your top pick. I read every single one. If you want my specific seed starting calendar for Zones 6 through 9, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next update. You have the space. You have the list. Now get out there and start growing.